Hello and welcome to Walker Tea Review. I'm Jason Walker, presenting the teas that, the wide range of teas that are available out there. You don't have to limit yourself to a tea bag or a bottle tea. There are so many, especially when it comes to Chinese and Japanese varieties. So many nuances that can be discovered. Each one with a little slightly unique story, a slightly unique character. So much to explore. So that's what I'm going to be doing here. I've got my BaiYaQiLan, traditional Chinese style of preparation. My tea. So this is a oolong tea we're looking at today. My water's been brought to an early boil and been cooling for about a minute. So I'm going to add that water right in. I've added enough of my tea leaf that it covered the bottom, say, inch diameter of the bottom there of my BaiYaQiLan. I'm adding just enough water so that when I put my lid on, a little bit of water should rest just above the rim and create a seal, which is good. Yes, that's exactly what's happening. And as I let this kind of steep and prepare, talk about this tea a little bit, introduce it. This is from LifeInTeacup. This is the BaiYa white sprout, is how you would translate that. Qilan. This is a oolong tea. It is from Fujian province. You can get 1 ounce, which is approximately 28 grams, for $4, or well, actually $3.99 at the time of recording this post. This is a 2011 fall harvest, and generally just know it's from Fujian province. Not any more precise details given on that. But as I look at this tea, I'm going to look at the 3 main areas of the dry leaf, the wet leaf, and the liquor. Starting off here with the dry leaf. A lot of times when you get samples like this, or you may even get larger amounts, but each individual serving can be kind of vacuum sealed, and that's what the case was with this. So you had the vacuum seal, and then other times you may actually have another layer, this clear plastic layer inside. I'm going to go ahead and smell this. Now this is a greener oolong, meaning it hasn't gone through a strong oxidation process, and it also hasn't gone through a strong or extensive firing process. So you get a lot of this green, you get a lot of green colors. You expect kind of more green, fragrant, floral, vegetal type notes coming off, and that's true here. This is one of the most clearly hyacinth type smells that I've come across especially in a green oolong in quite a while. It's very uniform in that one particular smell that just jumps right out. So that's the first thing I note. I'm going to take out my spoon here and just kind of scoop out a little bit and look at it here. This oolong is rolled into balls, or kind of like paper wads, crumpled. Some of these look to be larger, thicker, indicating there may be more than 1 leaf rolled in there together. I'm not seeing a lot of clear stem like you might see in some of the larger rolled Taiwanese oolongs, where you may have 2 or 3 leaves rolled together in one clump. I don't see those kind of evidence with the stems there, but going from a range of greens, going from a kind of a greenish yellow over towards a richer darker green, almost kind of dark green / blue. So lots of rich, again, those green, fresh colors are still present. Looking down into my bag here, this kind of represents, yes, what I see inside this whole sample. So, having said that and put that aside, this should have had enough time to kind of, to steep, and those leaves have unfurled. So I'm going to be ready to pour now. I'm going to get this over to the side, get my pitcher here, angle my lid over, hold it with my index finger, get my middle finger and thumb, maybe my ring finger for some support, tip it right over and in. Looks good. Get those last few drops to come out. See if I can shake out just a couple more. Because of course the tea that the liquid that's steeped at the bottom usually is richer, heavier in character than the liquor that rests on top of the gaiwan. So while that's cooling for just a minute, let me give that a swirl. So the sides are steamed up. You can look at that a little bit better now. I'm going to smell this wet leaf and kind of look at the wet leaf here. First off, got a little bit of a kind of a lima bean type of cooked green bean type of smell, more of a lima bean. I find that often with a greener Fujian Wulong like this, especially. I find it also with some of the greener Tieguanins from Fujian province. But that's what I'm getting here as well. Again, just like the dry leaf seemed to have that one overwhelming aroma, this one has that one dominant aroma as well, and that's that, like I said, that kind of lima bean, lightly cooked lima bean here, or lightly boiled lima bean. Now, pulling out some of these leaves, I'm actually surprised at the amount of, you can actually see some discoloration here. More so than I expected. Maybe it looks like more oxidation has taken place on this. So you do get a lot of kind of brownish colors, blotches here and there along the edges of these leaves. These leaves, this one that I picked out here is ragged, either from the process of the heat or the rolling process has crumbled some of those edges. Same with this one. Still, you can see the edges are more intact. You can actually see the kind of the jagged teeth on the very edge of the leaf. This is a bit of a thicker leaf. It's more resilient, a little tougher. It's not going to tear quite as easily. But again, some of that same kind of discoloration, not as deep in towards the center of the leaf. Let me pull out one more leaf here. Just kind of, this is a more delicate, pliable type of leaf here. I'm noticing also that these leaves unfurled fairly quickly, fairly thoroughly. I'm not having to really work to unroll them or pull open any creases here. Same as the other blotches here and there of oxidation that took place. So you get kind of brownish blotches here and there along that leaf. Let me flatten that out so that it can be a little more visible in the picture. And then I'll be able to move on then and talk about this liquor. Good color, at least so far. Holding it up to the light, yes, a bright gold yellow type color. Some of the floral coming out, although it's more subdued. Moving over towards more of a hint of a kind of a lima bean element there. I'm going to go ahead and give it a pour. And the taste here. Get that out of the way actually. Good clarity as I look down into my cup here as well. Texture, well, first thing I'm looking at here is the texture. It's not thin and watery. It's got some brothiness to it, which is fairly balanced with the astringency. So there's a light. Again, it's a light, gentle, powdery feel, but that it's smooth. It's a smooth, powdery feel, if you could say it that way. Think of like powdered sugar, slightly sprinkled across your tongue. With the character, that dryness, the other character, the thickness, they all kind of work together to create this kind of thick yet powdery kind of feel. Aromas are gentle. It's not that bold hyacinth that greeted me when I smelled the dry leaf. Not so much of the lima bean that came out in the wet leaf here. Although both of those are slightly present here. I'm going to let this cool down because a lot of aromas and tastes come out more so as these kind of, especially Taiwanese and some of your Fujianese more lightly roasted oolongs can bring out more as they cool. I can talk a bit more about the aftertaste though. At this point, there's that brothiness, that character that is beginning to kind of rest more towards the back of the mouth. It's building a bit of sweetness, and it's light, it's gentle, it's white grape type of. You finish the grape, you've got a little bit of the grape skin, white grape skin in your mouth, so it's got a little bit of that kind of faintly sweet, yet not so rich as the fruit, the meat of the grape. That's the kind of character that's coming out right now. It's gentle. But yet it's extended. It's not tapering off just yet either. So it's, like I said, gentle but lasting, fairly lasting. Let me give this one more shot and see if this does differently as it's cooled off a little bit more. What hit me just now is something moving towards parsnip, a sweet, kind of rich taste, yet also a little bit rooty, root-like in that element. Not heavy, off-putting, but parsnip is the closest I can get to the description here. So it does have some sweetness, but again, it's more of it's somewhere in between a sweet pea type of flower, sweet smell, taste to it. In between that and the parsnip, that's kind of where this one is. The flavor character is resting on this one. Looking at this tea and giving it a score, I would give this tea. I don't know. I'd probably give this tea an 87. It's